Hello, guys. Want to talk about something today. Want to tell everybody uh, stop flinging arrows when you're practicing. This video is about practice, how I practice, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've had a few people ask me questions about how do I practice, how much do I practice, how many arrows do I shoot, and things like that, or what I recommend and things like that. A couple of things. There's going to be two kind of major points to this, and it's not going to be a very long video, but I just do want to address this. Typically, when I practice, or if I'm shooting at a backstop, like where they're bale of hay or one of those hanging targets, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, what I'm checking for is form and arrow flight. Okay, I rarely just stand in front of a bale of hay or something and shoot arrow after arrow after arrow after arrow, and that's what I meant by flinging arrows. You're not really flinging arrows, but that's kind of what it turns into sometimes when somebody's shooting at that or does that every day. Some people are super regimented about their practice. They go out and shoot 50 or 100 arrows every day, no matter what, and they typically, some of them will stand at one distance and shoot 15 or 20 arrows, and then they may move to another distance and shoot 15 or 20 arrows, and then that's the end of their practice. Well, to me, shooting at a block, like I said before, shooting at a block or a fixed known distance or something like that in your backyard at a bale or something like that is good for two things. It's good for developing your form, making sure your form is consistent with your draw and your anchor and everything else that you got to do whenever you're shooting, and or checking for good arrow flight. Once you've narrowed those two things down, get away from that block, get away from that 3D target or whatever. Now I understand that some people they're constrained by just the property that they're on. You know, some people live in town. A lot of people live in town that shoot bows, and their backyards are not huge, so they more often than not they find that stick a target in a certain area over there that their wife will let them put it at, and they shoot at that. You know, they shoot at that target all the time from there. One thing to break that up, and I'll tell you why I'm talking about this in just a minute. One thing to break up that kind of that monotony is if you're shooting with 3 or 4 or 5 arrows, what I would do, and I'll explain why in a minute, what I would do is I would go pull my arrows out of that target, and I would, when you walking back all the way across the yard, I would stop at about 6, 8 steps and shoot an arrow. Walk about 5 or 6 or 7 more steps and turn around and shoot another arrow. And do that all the way back across the yard. Don't stand in one spot and shoot 20, 30 arrows and then move back to the next spot and shoot 20 or 30 arrows. What you're doing is, what you're trying to do is get your mind's eye to be working with your hand, with your bow hand. Okay? And one of the quickest ways to do that is exactly what I'm talking about. Shoot at random distances. Again, a set distance is good for checking for arrow flight and checking for form and stuff like that. The next thing is get you a bunch of arrows, or a few arrows, or 6 or 8 arrows, whatever. Put some blunts on them. Okay? Get those blunts on there. Get some of them field points off and shoot blunts. That moves me right. That's kind of the segue right into the second part of this video. I hear a lot. Somebody had commented, or I saw a comment somewhere. I don't know if it was on Facebook or wherever it was. He hated stump shooting because it tears up too many arrows. Don't take that literally. I don't think that anybody would intentionally or should intentionally shoot at a live tree or a rock or even a stump that they don't know is a soft target. Okay, a better probably characterization of that is roving. Walk around in the woods, walk around in whatever property that you can get on, and ask permission, of course. Take those blunts, walk around and pick out soft targets. A little dirt hill, or a flower that's got a little dirt hill behind it, or a hillside like that. Shoot at random targets or something while you're walking around. A ditch bank, the other side of a ditch bank, there might be a weed sticking up over there or a little stick sticking out. Take a shot at that. You've got something that's going to stop that blunt. All right, those kind of things right there. What it does, again, with the mind's eye thing, what that's doing is training your. You don't know how far it is. You don't know if that's 15 yards or 19 yards or 15 yards or 22 yards. as a lot of times you can't really tell exactly how far it is. Chances are, when you're hunting, the animal that you're hunting is not going to be at a designated distance. Okay, he may be in a range. You know, he may be between 5 and 20 yards, but he's not going to be standing exactly, you know, at the same distance that you've been practicing at. So it's a good idea to train you to hone your accuracy with your mind's eye and your bow hand to shoot at random distance, random targets, and always keep in mind what's behind the target, obviously. But for one reason, to save a lot of arrows. You don't want to be tearing up your equipment. I don't care what your arrows are made out of, whether it's wood, carbon, aluminum, whatever it's made out of. No arrow is going to survive very many direct hits into the side of a tree. Okay, a live tree. Or a hard target of any kind. Stump shooting is really, that's really not the greatest characterization of that. It's roving, I think, is a better term to use for that. But training your mind's eye at random distance and small targets, okay, is a very good way to develop that instinctive shooting skill about where, and your brain will train your hand to automatically go where it's supposed to go. We're not talking about feet of movement. We're literally talking about, you know, this much movement is a huge difference in elevation at, you know, certain distances. So again, it's good to practice, and it's good to you know, have your form right and all that stuff. But as soon as you get that form right and you see you got good arrow flight, get away from that. You know, move away from that. Stack, you know, do that step back method that I was talking about. Shoot at random distances. Don't always stand straight up and shoot like this every time. Bend over a little bit, kind of crouch down. Get on your knees, sit on a little stool. Do anything like that at different distances. And I guarantee you, if you practice enough like that, the next time you're in the woods, it won't be as hard to hit what you're looking at a random distance over there, because your brain is a powerful tool. It's already taken over and putting that arrow right where it needs to be at to hit or be very near what you're looking at that, you know, whatever that random distance is. That's why a lot of times I shoot long distance, 50 yards and beyond. Steve Trey and I have been out. He's been hunting with me several times down in South Texas, and I've pulled up 50 yards or way more than that and just taken a shot, because I like to see the cast of the arrow. I like to see good arrow flight for that whole distance, and it gives me, and I've done that so much that there's a lot of times that I don't hit the bullseye or what I'm looking at 50 or 60 yards, but I come very, very close quite a bit. Not saying that you should be practicing at 50 or 60 yards. You don't want to shoot at a deer that far, but hunting distances, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 steps, somewhere in there. If you're walking around and shooting at soft targets, a pine cone laying on the ground, like I said, anything, a little weed sticking up over there on the ditch bank somewhere, take a shot at it with a blunt. Get those Ace Broadhead sells these blunts, I think they're about the 6-pack or 12-pack or something, and they're not very expensive, okay? And it's also way less expensive than shooting at live trees and stuff like that where you're destroying your arrows. But I will recommend, anytime you shoot an arrow, even if it slides under the grass a little bit or whatever, I will always pick them up, flex them a little bit to make sure you don't see anything that's damaged or whatever before you put it back in your quiver. I'm not regimented about how I practice. I don't shoot 100 arrows a day, 25 at 10, 25 at 15, 25 at 20, and 25 at 25. I never do that. To me, I'll do something, a very cut down version of that, just to check form, just to check arrow flight. But after that, random distances. That's your friend as far as I'm concerned. This is my opinion. This is how I practice. Okay. Now, if you're wanting to just shoot arrows and trying to build up your strength or something like that, trying to get into a heavier bow or whatever, that's entirely up to you. And all practice is it's an individual's idea how to do things. Just like my idea of practicing some people may not agree with that. but I can tell you over a long period of time that I find that quality practice is better than quantity practice. Okay, so and I think, me personally, I think that roving around shooting at soft targets, okay, is much more quality practice than standing in front of a block at a designated distance for hours every day trying to shoot your bow. So especially if you're trying to hone your shooting for hunting, okay, different kind of archery, other kinds of archery, this may not apply or whatever, but this is for instinctive shooting and hunting. This will help you, so give it a try and get them field points off there, put some blunts on there, and get out there and get to roving around and shoot some soft targets. You'll really enjoy it. Once you get in the habit of doing that, I think you'll really enjoy it, and you'll really enjoy the results if you are consistent with it and do it regularly. You will see a difference. So anyway, I hope this helps, guys, and like I said in other videos, please like and share these videos. It helps, and try to get these videos out there to people that's wanting information or looking for information, and I hope that they're helping you guys. So if you guys would do that, I really would appreciate it. So anyway, hope this helped, guys, and shoot straight, and I'll see you guys on the next one.